So, you're planning your move to Canada. Awesome. But let's be real. That dream of permanent residency comes with a mountain of paperwork. It can feel like a total maze, but I promise you, it doesn't have to be. Today, we're going to crack the code and break it all down.
Yeah, staring at that long, detailed checklist of required documents, it's intimidating, right? It's so easy to feel completely lost and just not even know where to begin.
So how do we tackle it? It all comes down to organization. We are going to take that chaos and turn it into complete clarity by sorting everything into 4 simple, manageable dossiers. Seriously, think of this as your personal roadmap to building a rock-solid application. All right, let's dive right in with Dossier 1, your identity. This is the bedrock. It's the absolute foundation of your entire application. This is where you officially prove the basics of who you are to the Canadian government. This is all about the core stuff. We're talking your valid passport, and trust me, they mean all pages, every single stamp or visa, your birth certificate, and anything about your civil status, like a marriage or divorce certificate. Got a national ID card or adoption records? They go in here too. Basically, this is your personal history, all official and ready to go. Okay, so once your identity is locked down, we move on to Dossier 2, your experience. Now, if the first dossier was about who you are, this one is all about what you've done. This is your professional and educational story. In this file, you're going to gather everything from your university degrees and official transcripts to those super important detailed reference letters from your past employers. And hey, if you've already spent some time studying or working in Canada, those permits are a crucial piece of your puzzle. Now, for anyone who is educated outside of Canada, there's a big one you got to know about, the Educational Credential Assessment, or ECA. For a lot of the economic immigration programs like Express Entry, this is absolutely non-negotiable. It's an official report that basically says, yep, this person's degree is the real deal and it's equal to a Canadian one. It just levels the playing field for everyone. Okay, pro tip alert. This one can save you a ton of headaches. Let's talk about the perfect reference letter. First, it absolutely has to be on official company letterhead. No exceptions. It needs to clearly state your job title and the exact dates you worked there. Then, you list out your main duties. And finally, it has to be signed by a supervisor or manager. This isn't just a friendly note. It is a critical piece of evidence. And don't just stop at the letter. You've got to back this stuff up with hard proof. We're talking pay slips, employment contracts, even tax returns. These documents provide the concrete evidence that immigration officers are looking for. All right, moving on to Dossier 3, your finances. This is where you show that you're financially stable and ready to support yourself and your family if they're coming with you when you first arrive in Canada. Look, the Canadian government just wants to make sure you can hit the ground running. Typically, this means providing bank statements from the last 6 months, but, other assets can also really strengthen your case. Things like fixed deposits, investment statements, or even proof of property. But wait, here's a crucial little detail. This requirement doesn't actually apply to everyone. If you already have a valid Canadian job offer or you're applying under specific programs like the Canadian Experience class, you might be exempt. It is so important to check the specific rules for your immigration stream. And that brings us to our final folder, Dossier 4, Official Clearances. This is where the government does its own homework on you, the big health and security checks to make sure you meet Canada's admissibility requirements. Yep, these are pretty much the final major hurdles. It all boils down to getting police certificates and undergoing a medical exam. Both are just designed to ensure the safety and security of everyone in Canada. Let's break down the police certificates, because this one trips a lot of people up. The rule is actually super simple. If you have lived in any country for 6 months or more since you turned 18, you need a police clearance certificate from that country, period. So make a list of those places and start requesting these early. They can take a while. Okay, another really common question we get all the time is about timing. Specifically, when should I get the medical exam? You might think, oh, I'll just get it done early to show I'm on top of things, right? Wrong. The answer could not be clearer. A big, firm no. Do not, and I repeat, do not get a medical exam until you are specifically told to do so by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. That's IRCC. They will tell you exactly when to go and how to do it. Doing it too early will just waste your time and money, because you'll probably have to do it all over again. So you've done it. You've sorted your documents into 4 clean dossiers: identity, experience, finances, and clearances. Awesome. So what's next? Well, now it's time to assemble your final application package.
Think of this as the final administrative layer you put on top. You'll fill out all the specific application forms, like the background declaration. You'll also need a digital photo that meets their exact specs, and of course, your language test results, which are key for almost every economic PR application. And if you have a provincial nomination, that certificate goes right in here too.
So you might be thinking, great, this is amazing. Is this every single document I will ever need? Am I finally done? Well, not quite. Think of these 4 dossiers as your solid foundation. These are the core documents that pretty much everyone is going to need. But the final, definitive checklist, that comes from your specific immigration program. Whether it's express entry, a PNP, or family sponsorship, that program's guide is the final boss. It's your ultimate source of truth. But look at what you just did. By following this system, you've taken a giant, stressful mountain of paperwork and you've turned it into a clear, actionable plan. You're not overwhelmed anymore. You're prepared. So the only real question left is, what's your next move?